Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I'm super happy to have you. Today I'm doing a little recap on our trip that we just got back from when we visited the Ark Encounter as well as the Creation Museum. I have two videos up on my channel. The first one is a travel day and the second one is our actual trip while we were there, clips that I took. But I did get kind of a request on Instagram from you guys asking me to recap the trip in a pretty concise way. So I put together a post on Instagram and I did post it. However, I know not everyone on YouTube follows on Instagram, and so I figured I would give you guys a recap of our trip there. If you're unfamiliar, it's in the northern Kentucky area, and it is it's a two-size replica of Noah's Ark from the Bible. And then the Creation Museum is a museum that displays God's creation beautifully. So that's just a brief summary, but in this video I'm going to give you guys a recap of our trip. I'm actually going to use the post that I did on Instagram to give you guys the information here, and I hope that you find it helpful if you end up wanting to visit the Ark Encounter or the Creation Museum. So all in all, I think if you watch the vlogs, you can already piece this together. We absolutely loved our time there. We felt that it was so beautifully done. It far surpassed the expectations we had. It grew and challenged my faith as an adult who's been a believer for 15 years, and my teenagers loved it, my young kids loved it. We just had an amazing time. It was an overall amazing experience. Even in the midst of our current state of the world, we felt very safe. We felt very we just felt like, dare I say, normal, but it just did feel normal, and that was so refreshing. It was like just the best feeling to be somewhere with my family and not have this panicked, overwhelming feeling of like people staring at other people, and just there was no hostility or tension. It just felt like we can just enjoy here. And so we just had a wonderful time. We flew from the West Coast to Kentucky, so 3/4 of the way across the United States. We flew on Allegiant Airlines. We also had a very pleasant experience on Allegiant Airlines, no issues there. We didn't have any cancellations or any last minute changes to our flights, and most importantly, the flights were so affordable. They were the cheapest airline tickets we have ever purchased, and so we were really thankful for that. Usually for our family of 6, the average flying in the United States from going a bit of a distance, I'm not talking about going just one state up, but I'm talking about, we flew to Michigan, we've flown to Louisiana when we went on our Disney cruise, which I have vlogs of those trips as well. We have flown to Florida many of times. So, we've done our fair share of traveling that direction from the West Coast, and our flights were literally about even less than 1/3 of what they usually are. So the pricing was just unreal. So yeah, it was a very affordable journey for us because of that. So we actually took this trip because we wanted to. We've always wanted to, but we did it kind of in our minds as a replacement for our annual Christmas at Disneyland trip. Since Disneyland is still closed, we weren't able to go there. And we wanted to do something a little bit different this year anyway, so we figured now is as good of time as any to head that way, and I am glad that we did. At Christmas time, it's absolutely beautiful. I think it would be so fun any time of the year, probably more crowded in the summer just because of, that's where everything is more crowded. But I will say, if you go at Christmas time, the lights are beautiful and they have just soft Christmas music playing in the background. And I felt like it really added an element of, joy of being there because, it's just, we're celebrating the birth of Jesus, and what better place to reflect on that than seeing just all these different things that are so amazing. So now I am going through. So we stayed at a Holiday Inn Express Suites in Walton, Kentucky. There's only one there. Walton, Kentucky is about 20 minutes from the Ark and about 20 minutes from the Creation Museum, so it's kind of directly in the middle, and that was really nice for us. I would recommend that if you're doing a quick trip. We were only there a total of 4 days, and so the cost between renting a hotel room or renting, I don't know, versus renting like a VRBO house that, you know, and cooking our own meals and stuff, that the cost of that versus the cost of the hotel, it just was so, it was such a big difference. It was going to be around like $1,300 to rent a house for 4 days, and it was $300 for the hotel. So there just wasn't, it wasn't worth $1,000 to go the house route versus the hotel. The house, renting a, you know, a VRBO or whatever is usually what we do, but that really only works out financially when you're going to be going somewhere for at least 7 days. So at the end of the day, we were glad we did the hotel, and we actually got that hotel recommendation from the Ark Encounter's website. They have a list of places to stay on there, and it was wonderful. It was a really nice hotel. It fit all of our family of 6 well. They were still serving a hot breakfast even though there's like restrictions and stuff, and it was a clean, really nice place to stay. We didn't, I mean, it's not a luxury hotel, but it was very clean. I felt like the hotel was clean, not just the room. The people that were staying there were also, you know, pleasant. It was a good experience. So I would recommend there. We did purchase the combo ticket, and I'm looking down at my notes, for the Ark Encounter and the Creation Museum. There's a small discount when you buy a combination ticket, but we actually didn't know if we were going to go to the Creation Museum when we arrived, so we had only purchased our Ark Encounter tickets. They were able to upgrade them there to the combo ticket and still gave us the discount for that, which was wonderful. And right now, I don't know if how much longer this will be, or if this is something that the Ark Encounter always does, but right now kids 10 and under are free. So we only had to buy 4 tickets. So again, very cost friendly, and I feel like the cost, when you see how beautiful they keep it and just the employees and the grounds and just everything, it's like they should kind of charge a little bit more for this. But I mean, I know why they don't, because it's a ministry, but still it's well worth the money. But we did save money by purchasing that combination ticket. So if you know you want to go to both attractions, which I highly recommend, it would almost be silly to do one or the other. Like, they go together so well, and they complement each other. It's really best to do both at the same time if you can do it. So I wanted to mention that for you guys. Now, this was what I was getting a lot of questions on, was like, well, how long did you spend? How long do you think is long enough? So I think personally, 1 total day, pretty much open to close at each place, is enough. Obviously you could go back and look at more or do more, but we felt that a full day, we did all the things, we saw all the things, we read all the things, we soaked it up, and we did spend the entire day from open to close at the Ark Encounter, and same thing with the Creation Museum. So I think it's definitely doable for a weekend trip, or if you're making like a road trip somewhere else this summer and you want to pop in. I think a full day at each attraction is perfect. I will say you will walk much more than you think you will, and learn a hard lesson from me to wear walking shoes. I wore like cute tennis shoes and my feet were not happy at the end of the day. So be prepared to do a lot of walking. I will also say that I got asked a lot about ages. Now, of course, young kids, there's playgrounds there, there's animals to see, there's, you know, a petting zoo, there's, you know, there's all kinds of things for younger kids. So don't let that deter you. But if you know that you're only going to go and see the Ark one time, I would recommend waiting until your kids are, you know, I hate to say a specific age because every child is different, but my youngest is 9. She just turned 9, and I feel like I really am glad we didn't go when she was any younger, because number one, she wouldn't have really understood all the things we were seeing. She wouldn't have been able to make the connections that she did make. But what was really cool was watching my older kids. So my almost 14-year-old and my 12-and-a-half-year-old, they were just, it was like such an encouragement to their faith. And so I feel like if you live close and you're gonna go all the time, then, you know, take younger kids. But if you know that you're only going to do this trip one time, I definitely would wait until you feel like your kids are old enough to understand some kind of heavier concepts and really have like a deeper understanding of God and who He is, and just so that they can appreciate what they're seeing. Because I feel like without that, it kind of is just, you know, it's just a huge building, you know. So yeah, I was glad we waited. So my kids, when we went, were 9, 10, 12, and 13, and those were great ages. While we were at the Ark, we did do the zip lining fun there. You probably saw that in the vlog. I would highly recommend that. Even though it was terrifying, it was really fun. And they had a ropes course too. So if we had gone in the summer and the weather was nice, that ropes course would have been really fun to add on to the trip. So those are things to keep in mind. Those things did cost extra, but it was very reasonable. And so yeah, the zip lining was really fun. So we were glad that we did that. We did take a day off between going to the Ark and the Creation Museum, and I would recommend that you do that just because you're reading so much and you're taking in so much information. You don't want to go in kind of like burned out or like not really wanting to be there. And so I felt like having that day off in between really helped us be refreshed and ready to read and receive everything that we were going to read that day. Definitely budget for books if you're a homeschooling mom, because you're going to see a lot of things that you want to buy, and souvenirs for your kids, of course. My kids each picked a stuffed animal. That's always their souvenir of choice. And even though I'm like, a stuffed animal, they love them. So, okay, get the stuffed animal. I got a beautiful nativity set that was actually handmade by women in Thailand. They have a whole section at the Ark where they sell different things from different artisans in areas of the world where they're paid, you know, a fair wage, and it really is a ministry to that area of the world for those villages and women to be able to earn an income and be paid fairly for what they make. So there was a lot of Ugandan jewelry, there was a lot of different hand-sewn bags and different knit hats and just all kinds of things. So it was really cool. So I got a nativity set from there, and these ladies are from Thailand, and so that's really special to me. So definitely budget for some spending. I would say between buying like a coffee there in the afternoon and one souvenir for each of my kids and a little thing for me and a couple of books, I don't know, $200 was probably around what we spent. The next thing is just kind of on the food. So when we went, restaurants were closed in the state of Kentucky because of everything going on in the world. You could only get your food to go. So we were like, well, that might be kind of a challenge for our trip. And it was a little bit of a challenge. Now you can watch the vlog and see how we overcame those things. But one of the things that we did, which we always do anytime we go anywhere with our family, is we pack our own water bottles and we pack snacks. I brought them from home. I went to the store and we packed them in our suitcases. And then on our way to the Ark, we stopped at Kroger and we got they're like Hillshire Farms snack plates. So they're like, I don't know, they're kind of an adult Lunchable. They taste a lot better than like the Lunchable brand Lunchables. So we brought those and a ton of snacks, and so we weren't relying on eating lunch at the Ark. They did have a couple of places open where you could like take your food outside and eat it. but we actually left the Ark and went to a local restaurant and got to go and just ate it in the car and then went back. It wasn't far away. That worked at the Ark. At the Creation Museum, there really is nothing around there where that is, and so we did end up eating at the Creation Museum. Again, they had to have you get your food and take it to their outside eating area. And that was fine. They had heaters on and stuff, so it wasn't a big deal that we were outside, but you know, the food, it wasn't that great. The coffee was great there, but the food, it was a little lackluster. So we really only ate at the Creation Museum that one time out of, you know, kind of like a necessity, and there wasn't anywhere we could have really gone within 20 minutes of it, and so we just ended up eating there, and it was not the best. So if you, you know, keep that in mind. At the Ark, there was, Williamstown was right near it, and there were a couple of really good local restaurants, so you could always head over that way and get your food, normally eat in a restaurant with your family, and then go back. We weren't able to do that, so we ate in our car, and then we went back. So it worked out at the Ark, but around the Creation Museum, there really is not a lot. So keep that in mind when you guys head that way. So yeah, that's really the recap of the trip I wanted to give you guys. If you have any more questions for me specifically, post them down in the comments and I will be happy to answer them for you. But I wanted to just kind of touch on the high points of the trip, and if you're interested in seeing more, you can watch the vlogs. It was incredible. It was such a worthwhile trip. It's a memory I'll hold near and dear to my heart with my family forever. So if you have the opportunity to go, I'd say 10 out of 10, recommend it, make it a priority, get your family there. You will not regret it. And yeah, it was just wonderful. It was a great trip, especially right before Christmas. So I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up before you go. It's a free way to support my channel and really helps me out. And I will see you all in my next video really soon. Bye guys.
Look into each other's eyes. Tired snowflakes are coming.